This episode of Tutia Bruja is sponsored by Flood Witch, dedicated to providing information that helps you build an ethical witchcraft practice by raising marginalized voices while reclaiming weird. This is Flood Witch. Check it out at floodwitch.com.
I can see you clearly.
Hello, my beautiful witchy humans. You're listening to another episode of Tutia Bruja. I'm Bex Carlos, your host. This is episode 11. And 11 in numerology is the number that is at one with the universe. So that's what we're going to do this episode, be at one. At least in the sense that it's just me. It's a solo episode. And I will be answering questions that have been coming up, whether it's someone slipping in my DMs or sending me an email or using the chat feature on my website, all of which are acceptable ways to get in contact with me, by the way. I realized that, different people are on different paths on their witchy journey, their spiritual journey. Make sure everyone's on the same page. So everybody take a deep breath in and out. So I'm starting my morning off with a little witchcraft. I'm lighting some candles. I'm lighting one that is Witches Against White Supremacy, and the link to buy that will be in the show notes. I'm lighting my rainbow one, which is something that I light continuously to protect queer people in their struggles through life. I have a black candle just to remove toxicity, and I have a Santa Muerte candle. That's what I have on my altar right now. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning into the show. It's been a really fun ride so far, and I've had a lot of people reaching out and asking questions about terminology and stuff that we've used on the show. I'm just going to jump into the questions, and then I'll kind of get you up to date on everything else towards the end. So the first term that has come up several times that people have asked about is a return to Saturn. So Saturn is interesting. It takes about 29.5 years approximately for Saturn to be in the same spot that it was at when you were born. And Saturn is the planet that's over your willpower, discipline, sticking to commitments, just being able to really allow yourself to be on top of things. So if you feel in some ways you're changing a lot, you're breaking through with tradition, which is another thing that Saturn is connected to, tradition. If you feel like you're letting go of a lot of things that no longer benefit you, that could be Saturn, baby. You start to feel the effects as early as 27 and as late as 33. I just had mine in February. I'll tell you, it was wild. It was wild. I just feel like I'm a totally different person. If you would have talked to me in 2016, 2018, to know me now, I think it's like I'm a totally different person. So yeah, that's a return to Saturn. So you'll notice that you'll change a lot. The next thing I want to bring it up is natal charts. So natal charts explain everything that was in the sky when you were born. The three parts that are the most vital to know, in my opinion, and you need your time of birth to know this, so I do apologize if you don't have that. That does make it more complicated, I realize that, but you put in your time of birth and it tells you what your sun sign, your moon sign, and your ascending sign. I'm an intellectual, I love research, I love learning about stuff, so, look up your natal chart. There's a lot of really great apps for it. Astrology Cafe, I think it is, has one, so I can include the link to that in the show notes. Another question people had was about altars, and altars can be as complicated or as simple as you want. You could have a pink Himalayan salt lamp, you could have a candle, you could have, a photo of a family member in a shut glass full of liquor. That could be your altar. You could have a kitchen altar if you are a kitchen witch. You can have a photo of a family member or a recipe book, a candle. You could keep fresh fruit there, flowers there. You could have a sex altar, and then you can keep crystal sex toys that are really good for alleviating energy in your root chakra. I would recommend those. You could keep those on your altar, and then you could cleanse them in the new moon and charge them in the full moon. You could put a red candle up there. If you're someone who likes to incorporate like fresh roses, rosebuds into your sex life, you could keep some fresh flowers up there to do that with. Whatever feels true to you. Honestly, do whatever you want. You're a fucking witch. Do whatever you want. You don't need permission. Have an altar, don't have an altar. It's up to you. Next is the difference between a grimoire and a book of shadows. Okay, so a grimoire, in my opinion, is more official. It's kind of the textbook. This is the research that's been done. This is everything. It's here. Whereas the book of shadows is here's the recipes and here's what we tried and notes that you might change over time as you practice it again and again and again. Things that might be suggestions on how to do it if like all the resources aren't there. Things like that. I would typically recommend, like, some people have them simultaneously. Some people work on their book of shadows and then maybe down the road write a grimoire once they've had journals and stuff like that to focus on. It's up to you. Like, it's whatever you want to do. Next is, what is a kitchen witch? A kitchen witch is a witch who is really good in the kitchen. They are able to cook things that are both spectacular and amazing and make you feel there's love in every bite. They have a lot of intention in their food. And typically the intention, you can have your intention be whatever you want it to be, obviously, but that's a kitchen witch. Next one, what's a green witch? The green witch is a witch who is very into plants. Might not necessarily be like the best at keeping plants alive, feels very recharged around plants and just, kind of nature, period. That is a green witch. Final question. As someone who is trying to focus on the practices of my ancestors, where's a good place to start? Okay, so here's the thing. I would start a Google search. Like, I hate to be this way, but start a Google search. My family members are all about home remedies, right? So whenever I feel so sick, nauseous, don't feel great, they will go outside, cut a bunch of mint, make a tea for me, poquito miel, poquito limon, you're going to feel better. It really helps, especially if the stomach issues are not liquor related. For that, I recommend a Michelada, but, that's neither here nor there. But, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that our family members did because they were something that we were just taught to do so early on. Look up plants that were close or, very much are local to the area that your family is from. Start just connecting with plants of your ancestors. If nothing else, recharging for you. It'll allow you the opportunity to connect to things that they used to touch and work with. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is, so I love that there are listeners all over the world. I really do appreciate that during this time and during the time of COVID. I did want to say that this season, this being episode 11, we're coming pretty close to the end of this season. This season's going to be 16 episodes. I'm taking a break. The last episode will be on August 14th. It's my birthday, Leo season. That'll be the last episode for the season. And then in October, I don't want to give anything away, but there's going to be a lot of cool stuff coming. So just look forward to that. I really love the show, everyone, and I'm really glad that you tune in. It gives me the opportunity to talk to you about witchcraft because honestly, at times, it's the only thing that makes sense to me. The other day, I did a communication spell, and I really just needed the universe to tell me that I did not need to be talking to that person. You know what I mean? And I think that, sometimes in life, we need the universe to be the one to, shut our shit down. Because sometimes we're a little weak ourselves and we can't. So, witchcraft has been very vital to me, to having a reality check at times, but also giving me the opportunity to show my best self and to be able to create content that people connect with. So, thank you for listening. I'm going to end this episode with this thought. Anyone who wants to be a witch, the first step I advise you, figure out your mantra. Figure out what you are trying to do with your magic. And to be honest, if your path is very much centered around money, you have to rethink it. Don't get me wrong, balling out of control is dope, but I think capitalism can be harmful, and you should think about why you want that money, because sometimes the reasons why can be detrimental to you as an individual. But I think that we should all strive to be secure, be happy, be content. And I'm going to try and focus some episodes in the future on how to do just that, to create content that really helps you feel connected with yourself and the universe. So if you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, I'm at BeckSpeakCastin. If you want to follow the podcast, Twitter, Instagram, Tu Tia Bruja. I'm going to be showing up on a couple of different podcasts here in the near future. I've already showed up on one. Shout out to the Femtourage, because I love talking about, the origins of the show and introducing new people, because witchcraft is dope, y'all, and we're going to talk more about it. So thank you for listening. I appreciate you. I value you. You're a very beautiful and wonderful human. Let's leave this episode, again, feeling a little lighter than we came in. So let's take a deep breath in. And out. And that, my dear, is the end of the show. Bye-bye.
I can see